The story begins before Calliou was ever cheerful or curious. In a small remote town tucked between endless forests and misted lakes, a couple awaited their first child. The father was absent more often than present, leaving the mother alone with an old creaking house that groaned under the weight of its own history. The townspeople whispered of the house's strange past, how children who were born there sometimes didn't behave like other children at all. From the day Calliou was born, something about him was different. His bald head glimmered in the dim candlelight of the hospital room, and the nurses remarked that his eyes were too dark, almost endless, as if staring into something beyond the world. His cries weren't normal either. They seemed to echo, not just around the room, but into places where sound shouldn't go. Doctors said it was nothing, but the mother knew, deep in her bones, that something had come with her child. By the time Calliou was 2, the first signs appeared. Toys left on the floor would move on their own. Shadows in the corners of rooms would stretch toward him, twisting and writhing as if alive. His mother would find him sitting perfectly still, staring at nothing, whispering to someone only he could see. She thought he had imaginary friends, but there were nights when she would hear whispers back. Voices, low and urgent, telling him things, telling her things. The town tried to ignore it. Teachers said he was advanced for his age, but parents whispered that there was a strange aura about him. Animals refused to come near, and flowers in his presence would wilt. By the time he entered preschool, the other children began to vanish. Not all at once, but slowly. A child here, another there. Every time Calliou was upset, a scream would echo down the hallways of the school, and the missing children's lockers would rattle as if something inside were alive. The teachers brushed it off as coincidence, but the parents knew better. One night, when Calliou was 4, his mother awoke to a sound she could not identify. Low thumps coming from the attic. She climbed the stairs, her heart hammering, and opened the door to find Calliou sitting cross-legged in the center, eyes black as coal, chanting words she could not understand. The walls were smeared with strange symbols that seemed to twist when she looked away, and in the corner, shadows began to take shape. They whispered promises, threats, and secrets about the world that no human should ever know. She tried to leave him. She tried to hide him, but Calliou would always find her. When she locked doors, he would appear behind her, silent as the grave. When she tried to escape the house, the road would twist, looping her back to the front door, as if the world itself had conspired to trap her with him. The townspeople noticed the house too, lights flickering at night, screams muffled through the walls. But no one dared approach. By then, the boy who was supposed to be innocent had grown into something else entirely, something that didn't belong to the living. By the time he turned 5, the phenomenon became public. Children reported nightmares of a bald boy who watched them from the corners of their rooms. Toys would walk on their own at night. Parents found unsettling drawings of themselves, eyes crossed out, mouths stitched shut. Those who came too close to the house sometimes disappeared, leaving only faint echoes in the air, as though they had been swallowed by the walls themselves. And yet, Calliou remained unassuming to outsiders, always polite, always curious, always smiling. No one could tell the difference until it was too late. Behind that smile, behind that round head, lived something old, something hungry, something patient. He learned quickly that he didn't need to move mountains or shout to have power. He only needed to watch, to whisper, and to wait. The final act of the origin, whispered among the remaining townsfolk, tells of a stormy night when lightning split the sky. Calliou disappeared from the house, leaving nothing but an empty crib, a trail of tiny footprints leading into the forest, and the faint sound of laughter, high-pitched, innocent, yet unmistakably not human. Some say he wanders still, appearing on television screens, behind windows, or at playgrounds, always watching, always learning, always waiting for the next child to notice the shadow in their corner. And that is the truth behind the bald boy with the smile. Not the cheerful cartoon you remember, not the little boy who sang songs and colored pictures. The Calliou you knew was just a mask hiding something ancient, something dark, something that slipped into our world.